How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggly With It. I'm Will, and today we're going to open up the newest expansion for Marvel Champions, the Galaxy's Most Wanted. So this is a game by Fantasy Flight Games. It is an expansion for Marvel Champions, which I think we already mentioned, but it is a living card game. It is a game that basically you buy expansions, add to your existing collection, turn the box the right way, because I had already had this opened, and I forgot I've got the cards open in here and turning this upside down. Might not have been good, but it is made to be added to your existing. This is not a standalone. You can't play this without the core set, but it does give you some additional scenarios and some additional hero packs. So let's go ahead and get inside of here and see what we've got. So we have already opened up Star-Lord and Gamora. If you want to see those two Guardians, you can watch those videos after you watch this video. And we will be opening up the next two packs, Drax and Venom, once they come out. So make sure you hit that subscribe and bell notification to see when those get hit on the channel. And also, same, we're going to play these as well. So same thing, subscribe, bell, watch us live. So the difference between the scenario expansion boxes and the regular scenario packs, for example, we did play the Green Goblin pack, is that these will give a campaign mode. Now they can be played outside the campaign, but they can also be played in the campaign mode, which allows you to upgrade your heroes. And I'm not going to go through this because I don't want to spoil anything, but you'll see, we'll go to the first one, right? So the first campaign, it tells you the rules, says you need to add specific cards, and then you'll upgrade your deck. It gives you a nice little comic book in here to read. And then here you go. So scenario 1, you set up with these specific items, and then there is also an expert mode. So that way you can upgrade your cards. So for example, the Milano's in here if you're playing campaign, whereas if you're playing regular, there's no reason for the Milano. The Milano does things in the campaign. So the other thing is, before I take this wonderful piece of white cardboard off, I did go ahead and put the inserts in here. If you want to know how I made the inserts, I described that in the core box unboxing. But we're just going to show you our storage solution, or storage idea. It's not really a solution. I don't know what we're solving. We're not really solving for anything because there's nothing to solve for. But what they are is basically the printed out dividers from Divider Central, and then I put them in some top loaders, right? But here we go. So we have two new heroes, Groot and Rocket Racoon, and then we have the different villains that you can go against. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different villains. Ronan the Accuser is notably one of the harder ones, but I'm not to say I'm not sold on that. Most players have been playing this for a long time, and something probably me and Oddity will never do is they play everything when it first comes out on the hardest, most expert of difficulties. Plus, they, do the maybe trying to figure out the word I'm looking for. They just played it on the hardest difficulty. And there's actually 2 levels of difficulty. There's actually standard expert and then expert. I'm not even going to get into it because even in the forums, people are confused how to determine the difference. We're always going to play on standard, and a lot of times rookie, where we're only trying to defeat the first level of a guy. So we'll go ahead and start with the good guys. Let's go ahead and start with the good guys. We'll go ahead and go through the pre-constructed decks for Groot and Rocket. So let's go ahead and put him on his alter ego side. Why? Because that's how we've been doing all the other ones. So alter ego. So he's got 4 recovery. That seems kind of low. Like I'm thinking Groot, he's healing. He's, I would think he'd be higher than 4. But either way, growth spurt action. Place 2 growth counters on Groot to a maximum of 10. Limit once per round. So we're going to figure out what these growth counters do. I imagine somewhere in here it's going to tell us. Of course, 6 is normal for most in their alter ego. 10 hit points, again, is pretty standard. For actions, 1 thwart, 2 attack, again, pretty normal. 3 defense, so he is a little bit better at defense. Floral Colossus, forced interrupt. When Groot would take any amount of damage, move that many growth counters from him. For each growth counter, prevent damage. Okay, so there we go. So he can prevent up to 10 damage by flipping him back and forth and getting those growth counters set up. Okay, so there's other ways. So here we go. So Fruition, which is free, place 2 growth counters on Groot. So there you go. You get some of those growth counters that you're going to need to prevent damage. I am Groot. Thwart Remove threat from a scheme equal to the number of growth counters. So again, growth counters. All right, so I'm seeing a theme here, guys. I'm seeing a theme. And I am Groot. I have an odd feeling all of his cards are going to be just I am Groot, but written differently. So I am Groot. Hero action, deal damage to an enemy equal to the number of growth counters. All right, I'm very themey. Oh, they stopped, man. They stopped. I was hoping they would all just say I am Groot. But Root Stomp, attack, and it is a superpower. Hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats the enemy, place a Groot counter. Okay, so he gets an extra growth counter for defeating an enemy. We are Groot. There we go. Only 1 to play it. Remove up to 4 growth counters. Choose that many friendly characters. Give each of those a tough status. Okay, so he basically is putting up a block to everybody. Fertile Ground. Exhaust in your alter ego. Place 1 growth counter on Groot and draw cards. That's pretty nice, because you're already going to be adding growth counters in your alter ego form. Upgrade. Hero Interrupt. When Groot makes a basic thwart, remove 1 growth counter from him and exhaust Entangled Vines, this card. Groot gets +2 thwart. Okay, so you have the option to go ahead and exhaust this and basically do some extra removal of thwarts. Another upgrade, Lashing Vines. After Groot uses basic power, remove 2 to exhaust Lashing Vines, and you can ready Groot. So you basically get to attack with Groot twice or thwart with Groot twice. Superpower, Bind Shield. When Groot defends an attack, remove 1 growth counter from him. He gets +3 defense. Vine Spikes. When Groot makes a basic attack, remove 1 growth. Groot gets +2 attack. So again, everything deals with those growth counters in his main deck, which is a very neat mechanic. I think that's going to be kind of neat to play with. So his ally in his protection, so Groot, of course, everything you saw there was mostly protection based, so it seems only right that he is protection. Starhawk is when Starhawk makes damage equal to the remaining hit points, return him to his hand. Okay, so, wow, that's when Starhawk takes damage equal to his remaining hit points. So, yeah, so when he gets knocked out, he just comes back to your hand. So he doesn't actually get knocked out. Okay. Desperate Defense. When your hero defends against attacks, it gets +2 defense for the attack. If you take no damage, ready your hero. So you can actually defend a second time. Fighting Fit with Good Old Drax. Deal 2 damage to the villain, 5 damage if your hero's remaining hit points are equal to or greater than your hero's starting hit points. So as long as you have either upgraded your hit points or you're fully healed, you're going to do more. Power Protection. These are the normal double protection or double aggression cards for resources. Dauntless. Under any player's control, max 1 player. Your hero's remaining hit points are equal to or greater than your hero's starting hit points. Your hero gains Retaliate +1. So again, as long as you're fully healed or over, you're going to get to do 1 damage every time you're attacked. 1 for upgrade. After your hero defends against an attack and takes no damage, exhaust the hero to ignore. Remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So more protection. Indomitable, we've seen this before. Your hero defends after your hero defends, discard Indomitable, ready your hero. Alright. And then it would only make sense that his ally is Rocket Racoon. Now, of course, if you're playing the core villains, or the core heroes in this expansion, of course, you will not be able to play this card. You'll only be able to use it as a resource. Whenever that occurs, lately they've been making that a wild card. Unlike, for example, I would have to double check Captain Marvel because they created her Spider-Woman card before Spider-Woman was created. So it's highly possible. I think she is, if I remember correctly, I think she's the yellow, the lightning bolt. I do not think Spider-Woman is a wild. Let me know down in the comments if you guys know, or if you pulled your card out before I figure it out myself. But he is a thwarter, and then he attacks for 1. Play only if your identity has the Guardian trait. So again, you can only play it when you're in hero form. When Rocket Raccoon attacks a minion, he gains +3 for that attack, and that attack gains overkill. So basically, he gets, he automatically gets 1 if he's doing against a villain, but when he's doing against a minion, he gets 4, and then if anything past that minions' hit points is going to go after the villain, which is nice. Flora and Fauna. Team up Groot and Rocket. Place 2 growth counters on Groot to a maximum of 10 and ready him, or place 2 charge counters on Rocket Raccoon, upgrade and ready that upgrade. So you basically have the option of either doing something with Groot, or if you're playing with Rocket, you can upgrade Rocket, or you can upgrade this Rocket as well, although this Rocket can't have charge. So it really seems like it's only the hero Rocket that this would play off of. Right, so you have your double resources, Genius and Strength. Depth Focus, max 1. Depth Focus reduces the resource cost of the next superpower, which most of Groot's were by 1, so very good card. And then his Obligation, Wilt. So of course he is the last of his kind, he's always trying to get his family back, and he is afraid of fire, man. So he basically has to stop play, interrupt what he's doing, and resolve his obligation. So Blazing Inferno, which I'm like, you're thinking, what would Groot's nemesis be? Well, his nemesis is fire. So the side scheme against his homeward Planet X, Phoenix rages, right? So you have to, after the villain phase begins, deal 2 indirect damage to each player. So that's not fun. Every time you do the villain phase, you're going to be taking damage. And there he is. Fernax is his nemesis. So Leviathan, Fernax activates, deal 2 indirect damage to it, and it says Groot's nemesis. Fan the Flames, so take 2 indirect damage. Blazing Inferno is in play, and additional indirect damage. With Fernax in play, additional. So if you don't stop all that, so if you keep the Blazing Inferno and Fernax and then pull this, that's 4 damage. That is a lot of damage. And there you go. So that is not Rockets. That is Groot's deck. All right, so we'll go on to Rocket Raccoon here. So let's go ahead and start with that alter ego side, which is what we always do, right? So recovery of 3. So again, a little bit lighter on the recovery side. Tinkering. Choose and discard 2 tech upgrades you control, which allows you to draw 2 cards. So I haven't looked quite through his deck, but I thought he had something that lets him get tech out of his discard pile. So that may not be as bad as it sounds. 6. Hit points 9, so he's got a little bit less hit points than most. And then his hero side, so 2, 1, and 1. So, I don't know, this seems weird to me that even in the Groot deck, his attack was low. He's more, I mean, I get he's more of a schemer, more of a thinker. So thwarting is more that thinking, scheming, stopping stuff. But he likes guns. So the attack kind of means low. Yes, he murdered you. Response, after you deal excess damage to an enemy, draw 1 card. So basically, as long as you attack for more than they have in hit points, so a minion or whatnot, you can be able to get extra cards. So I've got a plan, only cost 1. After you make a basic thwart, ready Rocket Raccoon, he gets +1 thwart while the hero form. Reload is a skill, ready your tech upgrade, so it gives you a free reload of your tech. Schadenfreude, which is German for something, I don't know, event. Until the end of your turn, heal 2 damage from Rocket Raccoon each time you deal that amount of damage to an enemy. Salvage, okay, that's different. So this is a wild and tech, or science. Or I don't know what these symbols mean. I know that's wild. But it is a resource. After you spin this card, put a tech upgrade from your... There we go. So I knew there was something that got his tech upgrades back. So you're not so bad in your alter ego when you discard your upgrades. Here is one of his upgrades, Battery Pack. Enters play with 2 charge counters. Exhaust, move a counter from this to another tech upgrade. Cybernetic Skeleton. So of course he was cybernetically enhanced. He is an experiment. So that is part of the reason why he is so smart and why he's so good at what he does. But you get +3 hit points while in hero form. Rocket gets +1 attack. Okay, so there we go. Now he gets a little bit more of his attacking back. Upgrade, Tech Weapon, restricted. Enters play with 2 charge counters, so you do get 2 charge. Hero action, Exhaust Particle Cannon, remove 1 charge counter, deal 4 damage to an enemy. This attack gains overkill and range, so that's nice. So ranged prevents retaliate. Tech Weapon, it's a bigger gun. So you went from a big gun to a bigger gun. Restricted, interplays with 2 encounters on it. Hero action, Exhaust Rocket Launcher, remove 1 charge counter from it. Choose a player, deal 2 damage to a villain, and each minion engaged with that player. So that's really nice. This, again, that's where you got to bring that energy off of the one to the other, so that way you can keep using this. Same thing, Rocket's Pistol, restricted. Enters play with 3 charge counters on it. Exhaust Rocket's Pistol, remove 1 charge from it, deal 2 damage. Just a regular 2 damage, shoot, shoot, pew, pew. There we go. Thruster Boots. While in hero form, Rocket Racoon gets plus thwart and gains the aerial trait. So we saw in a couple other decks that aerial trait, there's a lot of abilities that interact off of it. For example, in the Star-Lord deck, you have those extra cards that actually play off of for the aerial trait. There was like a Justice, a Aggression, and a Protection. His ally is Bug from the Nova Corps, right? That's a little Nova Corp outfit. 1 and 1, so very weak. 2 hit points, so 2-hit wonder. Response, after your hero makes a basic attack, heal 1 damage from Bug. Okay, so as long as you're attacking, you can just keep healing Bug back up. That's kind of nice. Chase him down, we've seen this before. This is some of the standard decks. After your attacks, remove 2 threat. Into the fray, deal 6 damage to a minion. For each point of excess damage, remove 1 threat. So again, very much remove threat heavy. Rocket is a remove threat type of guy. So looking for trouble, event thwart. Discard cards from the top of your encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion in play. Remove 3 threat. So the only problem with that is discarding cards sometimes can be bad because you get to the end of the event deck. Then you're going to have to actually take an additional increase in threat each turn. Relentless Assault. It's not salt, it's assault. Either way, I'm tongue-tied. But we saw this. This was in Captain Marvel's deck. Deal 5 damage to a minion. If you paid using the fighting resource, it gains overkill, which only, it just thematically fits with Rocket. Follow through. When your hero's attack deals any damage excess, increase that amount by 1. Not bad. So you get a couple of those. Hand Cannon, restricted, has 3 charge counters. When your hero makes a basic attack, exhaust Hand Cannon and remove 1 charge. Your hero gets an additional 2 attack for that attack and gains overkill. Now the thing with Hero Interrupt is this is not optional, right? Anything that says interrupt you have to do. So you have to do the +2 attack, which isn't bad, but in certain times you could be using this against a minion that you don't need that extra damage. Now for Rocket, he only has +1 to begin with. I don't think that's going to be that much of a factor. So same thing, Groot is an ally. Wouldn't be able to play it when we play this together because we're already playing a Groot as a hero. Play only a Guardian is a Guardian. Same thing, gotta be in your Guardian side. After he defends an attack, heal 2 damage. And then it is a wild for a resource. Flora and Fauna, same as in Groot's deck. You get your double resources, which are standard. Boosters, so booster boots. If you play only if your identity is Guardian, which means you gotta be in hero form, max 1 per player. Hero up, when you would take any amount of damage from an attack, exhaust the boots, discard the top of your deck, prevent 1 damage. So it prevents 1 damage. It could be the difference between life or death. You get a bunch of those. Alright. Crisis on Half-World. So here's a bunch of the other experimental animals. So, he's got to go take care of that crisis before he can continue his adventures with Groot. So Vendetta, of course, the little bunny, Blackjack O'Hare, does not like Groot very much, or does not like Rocket very much. Which I guess means he doesn't like Groot either because they're friends, but I digress, right? You basically get +1 of that symbol. Oh, +1 to the boost while this is in play, which is not good. That could mean extra damage. Blackjack O'Hare, 1/1, does 3 damage, and his... My laugh, I did it for it, although I guess his would be more maniacal. I don't know, it's crazy. But yeah, so there is Blackjack O'Hare. His bazooka gives him +2 attack. Wow. If you can't, then it attaches to the villain. And it costs 3 science to get rid of. I hate those. It's just, you're discarding so much resources. If you don't have that double in your hand... Planetary Invasion. Discard cards from the top of the encounter until you discard a minion. Reveal that minion and give it a tough status. That's no fun. No bueno. We don't like tough status. There we go. That was Rocket Racoon. So let's go ahead and start going through some of the other cards. So there is an Infinity Stone card as an attachment. Gives thwart and scheme or attack. The ship command cards. So these are the cards that are used as an environment, which is used in the game. Like I said, this is used in campaign mode. So there's a couple cards that will be utilized and mixed in one of the campaigns because you're flying by ship. It's more like you're flying by ship rather than just your heroes, right? And then you're attacking the other ship. So this here is the market, so the campaign marketplace. So the marketplace is upgrades that you can get at the end of each section of the campaign. I'm not going to go over all the cards because there are a lot of them here, but you get to choose to upgrade your characters throughout the campaign, which again makes them more powerful, and that's because the bad guys are going to get more powerful as you go as well. So here are the rest of those cards. There we go. So unit cost 7. Action. Ready up to 3 characters. Remove this card from game. All right. So remove from game. See, that's what I'm wondering. Is remove from game that one particular scenario? Is that considered the game, or is the whole campaign considered the scenario? I have to look at the FAQs for that. And then these are the standard challenge. So as I mentioned with the scenarios or the campaign, you can add these extra challenges. So you actually have your standard mode challenges, and then you have your expert challenges as well. So Badoon Blitz, you got a Gallery of Splendor, there's no escape. So it's just additional side missions that you can add to the standard campaign to make it more difficult. So there's one per each villain there. All right, so let's get into the first campaign. So the first campaign is Brotherhood of Badoon. So Drang. You say tomato, I say tomato. Is your villain. So 1, 2, not very strong. So force response after Drang schemes resolve Badoon's ship charge up ability. So that is his level 1. So level 2 and level 3. So he ends up at a 3/3 if you're going to play expert mode. So here, Terrestrial Invasion. So it tells you which cards, of course, as normal. Put the Badoonship environment and the Milano support in play. So 1A, and then Terrestrial Invasion 1B. So 2 times plus the star, which has a force response. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, resolve the Badoonship's charge up ability. All right. And then you have level 2 if they succeed in level 1, then it goes to level 2 there. But you get the same thing, forced response on each one of the upgrades. So Badoonship is an environment, charge up, place barrage tokens here. There are 4 more barrage, deal 2 indirect damage. That's not good. His attachment is spear. Basically, he gains stalwart and cannot be stunned or confused. Very bad. It does require you to remove it. Plus, he gets +1 attack. Here's one of his minions. So he has a Badoon engineer as minions. Side scheme gives the crisis. So, of course, you cannot do anything until you finish this one. This one here, exhaust the Milano, remove 3 threat from this scheme. Armada gives an additional event card. And then the other side scheme gives you additional boost cards. So that is an overview of how Badoon works. The next one is the Collector. So this is, you're going to infiltrate the museum first, and you got to escape from it. So you have the Collector here. So he is an Elder. When forced to interrupt, when a card, player, or encounter would be placed onto the discard pile from play, place it face up into the collection instead. When a card, player, or encounter. Wow, that's a lot of cards. We're gonna figure out what that. Wow, that seems like that's gonna be bad when you get a lot of cards in there. So you got level 1, level 2, level 3. And then, so there is the first one. So create the collection game setup area. which is what we just saw that he's going to do. So his grand collection, choose and exhaust your heroes, discard one card from the collection to its owner's discard pile. Okay, so as a hero action, we can choose to either exhaust your hero or spend 2 resources to get your discard cards back. There are at least 5 cards in the collection, or if this stage is completed, the players lose the game. Or at least 5 times the number of people. So if there's 10 cards in the collection. Oh, wow. So you basically have to make sure the collection never gets over 10 cards. Huh. So I'm thinking in a normal turn, you're definitely going to have to read how that works, because I'm thinking in a normal turn in a 2-player game, I could discard 3 cards, 4 cards. Obviously, you could discard 3 cards. That's already up to 6. And then when you have your event cards, you're going to have to discard each of those. Or maybe it's when the action says to discard. Maybe not when you're discarding as part of play. Maybe it's only if a card says discard. So yeah, we'll have to definitely check the rules, but that is an interesting mechanic. So, biogram image attached to the collector. When a collector would take any amount of damage, put this card face up into the collection, prevent all of that damage, then place the threat on the main scheme equal. Wow, okay, that's not good. Minion, villainous. So this minion activates, give it a boost card. Well, that's not good. It's inconspicuous box. Put the lowest card in face up into the collection. More into the collection. More into the collection. Choose one. Put the highest card from your hand into the collection. Discard the highest card from your hand and place threat in the scheme equal to it. Well, see, here's the thing. So this says discard, but the scheme said to put that into the collection. So now I'm feeling like this is a double. It's going to be a collection no matter what? Or maybe because this is saying place threat equal to, you actually get to discard it. Again, gonna have to read the rules on that. Stay a while, alter ego, choose to either spend resources into the collection. Wow, this one's gonna be very interesting. Caught off guard, when revealed, discard an upgrade or support. So that's as I mentioned, there's several of them that will make you get rid of your upgrades, which would be very bad for Star-Lord because he would lose his blasters, and that's not a good thing. Not a good thing. So the second phase of the collector, so A1, same thing, 1 and 1. When the collector would be defeated, remove 3 times the people threat from the scheme, and then flip this card instead. And so he has A2, so he's kind of weird and blue. He has no scheme, no attack. Collector cannot be defeated. Forced interrupt. When this round ends, flip this card, then set collector's hit point dial to his printed hit points. When this round ends... Oh, so he only stays damaged 1 time. Those hit points are infinite. So he just flips back over here. And he hits 16 hit points again. Collector gets X scheme, X attack, where X equals the main scheme's current. Okay, so there must be some other win condition. Beating him is not the win condition. All right, so there's only 2 collectors. There isn't 3 collectors. Oh, so on this stage, okay, he actually has 2 instead of 0, so he can actually attack. And this one, okay, so it goes up by 1 on that one. All right, so here are your add-ins. You have the Menagerie and the Labyrinth. You've been trapped in the Labyrinth, missing the Milano. When last threat card is removed from this scheme, advance to A. The players win by advancing. Okay, so our win condition is we have to actually advance through all of the different things. So we advance to 3, and then there's 3. Exhaust Milano, remove 3 threat from here. There's no threat here, the players win the game. The stage is completed. Okay, so very much removing threat. So this actually would work very well with Rocket, because that's really all Rocket was doing, was removing threat. Here is the Labyrinth. Deal yourself 1 face down encounter card, remove 5 threat from the main scheme. Okay, not bad. That actually seems like a good treachery because it'll get you through those schemes. I have you now, when revealed, exhaust your identity. Not good. Anti-schemes. Your hero, you're stunned. Collector attacks you. And yeah, there's 3 of those. Oh, isn't he cute? It's baby Groot. Impossible geometry. In Site 1, revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme. Okay. When revealed, you are confused. If you're already confused, choose to discard 1 card you control. I am Groot. Oh, he's confused. So there's 3 of those. 3 of those in there. All right. I just like the cute Groot. He's just cute. He's más lindo. Odd that he's going to like him. All right. The next villain in the deck, of course, is going against Nebula. So she has 1 attack, 1 scheme. First technique attachment revealed. Each round gains surge. When Nebula initiates an activation, remove the special ability on each technique attachment in play, then discard those attachments. Now, of course, if you're playing against Nebula with Gamora, which is what we're going to be doing thematically, we will not be able to play Nebula as a ally or as a nemesis. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Those are her upgrades. Flip them over, make sure there's not a backside to those. So you're doing the Art of Evasion, so you're trying to escape. You got Pirate Marauders, and then you put Nebula's ship environment and the Milano into play. And then Art of Evasion. X is equal to the number of encounters on Nebula's ship. So it's based on Nebula's ship. So again, this is one of those ones where thematically you're supposed to be in space, and then there is 2B. Environment, so there is Nebula's ship. Force interrupt when the villain phase begins, place 1 invasion counter here. Alright, so kind of like Norman. So if you watch Norman Osborn, he has that infamy tracker or madness tracker. This is going to have something similar. Cutthroat ambition attached to Nebula. Nebula cannot take more than 5 damage from a single attack. Wow. And there's no way to remove it. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. And she's got 2 of those. Evasive maneuvering, attaching Nebula. Nebula gains Steward. Special, if you are stunned. If Nebula, or if you are already stunned, give her a boost card. Another attachment. So again, cybernetic upgrades is what they're kind of going with. She gains Stalwart again. Give Nebula a tough status card. Nebula already has it. Give Nebula another boost card. Weapon Mastery. Nebula gains Retaliate. Oy. Another attachment. Reduce the amount of damage. Not looking good for our heroes. Alright, so side scheme, normal side scheme, which increases the event cards, 2 of those. And then do a barrel roll, Fox. Insight, 1 surge. Place 1 evasion counter on Nebula's ship, so that's how she gets more evasion counters. Discard cards from the top of the deck. If a technique is discarded, reveal the card, resolve its special ability. And then Ruthless, she's mad, she's angry. If you're an alter ego, she schemes. If threat is placed on that, put her in evasion. Hero, Nebula attacks. Damage is dealt, place an evasion. And 2 of those. So it's all about getting more evasion on her ship, so that way her main scheme can activate, or she can activate using that. So the last actual villain, before we get into the modifications, is Ronan the Accuser. This is supposed to be one of the hardest ones in the game. Again, don't know if it's based on expert mode. I don't know if it's based on campaign mode. And I don't know if it's based on standard expert campaign or expert campaign. Yeah, that stuff. So here you go. Ronan, 2/2. Ronan the Accuser activates against you. Give him an additional boost if you control the Power Stone. So the Power Stone was in Nebula's. I believe that gets added to when you play against Nebula because you're trying to get the Power Stone back from her. Or maybe it's in the music. I don't know. Somewhere in the campaign you get it. And so nothing on the back. So level 1, level 2, and level 3 for Expert. The main scheme is Interception Imminent. Exhaust the Milano. Remove 3 threat from this scheme. So you remove threat with the Milano. Take What Is Mine is basically if the stage is completed, the players lose the game. While Power Stone is attached to Ronan, threat cannot be removed. Not good, so it's kind of like a blocker there. Kree Command, 1 additional event card. Weapon, he gains Stalwart. Take 2 damage, heal yourself. He gets plus plus scheme plus attack. Attached to Accuser gains Fury counter +1 to each player, and then +1 attack. Side scheme Crisis, so we basically have to deal with this before we can actually continue with the main scheme. Wow, not a good one. You get +2, and there's 2 of those, +2 to his scheming or the threat in between rounds. Not his scheming, just in between rounds. Side scheme, Power Stone cannot be attached from Ronan the Accuser. Oh, unattached. Ooh, attach the Power Stone to Ronan. Not good. Treachery, Ronan attacks the player who controls the Power Stone. Not good. Kree Psychology, Surge, so there you go, get an extra event. When revealed, give Ronan the Accuser a tough status card. If he already has a tough status card, we take a damage. You stand accused. Ronan the Accuser schemes with +1. Ronan attacks with +1. And that is it for Ronan. Alright, so we're going to kind of go through these mods a little bit quicker because, well, you guys, I edited it out, but my battery's starting to die on my phone, so we're just going to kind of go through these a little bit quicker. So this is the Galactic Artifacts, which is added to the museum, of course. Each one is a different artifact attached to the enemy, and it's going to give them benefits. So +3, this one, we get -1 attack for defense, +1 to their boost. Forced Interrupt, you get 1 poison counter, plus an additional event card. Side scheme, plus to the threat, plus to the event, plus to the boost, plus to the event. So yeah, none of those seem fun, and there were a lot of side schemes in that particular one. Next is Space Pirates. I believe this is with Nebula. So you get an additional minion. Wow, 6 hit points. Another minion, Pirate Lackey. Another minion, another minion. Side scheme has a boost. Reveal this card. Okay, so if you pull this, then you reveal this. So it seems like this has to get put into play. Almost seems like that's part of the function of that one. Treachery, discard cards from the top and counter deck until you get a criminal. Reveal the minion, get the minion tough. Okay. Okie dokie. And there's 2 of those. Menagerie Medley, so I think this is the second part of the collector. I've got them in the wrong order, don't I? Psionic Ghost. So 2/2, so minion, you're confused. 4 of that guy. Servant Bot 1/1, and he is a guard, so therefore you cannot attack the villain. Star Shark, Shark with lasers, quick strike. His attacks deal indirect damage. Oh, that is not good. So it just goes 3. You can't even stop that. It's indirect damage. All right. The next is the Kree Militants. I believe this is for Badoon. Attachment armor. No, this is for Ronan. Badoon Headhunters is for the Badoon. I know you put the Kree from, I think, the core set into the other one. Now, that is one difference with these 2 I did mention earlier. Is some of them require you to put more than 1 modification into them. So, armor, they attach to an enemy with the highest attack, and they take reduced damage. Kree Commando, Patrol, minion is engaged with you, you cannot thwart. That's not good. So 3 of those guys. Kree Lieutenant, he gets stalwart. They cannot be stunned or confused. Never a good thing. Kree Private, Quick Strike. If he's engaged, he attacks. And 3 of them. So just a bunch of Kree guys to beat up on you while you're trying to take down Ronan. So this is the Badoon Headhunter, and then we have the Band of Badoon is last. The Badoon Headhunter, Victory 2. When defeated, add cards to the victory display. Villainous, this minion activates. Give it a... Ooh, so it gets a actual boost card. Treachery, Surge. Surge is never fun. Well, Surge the drink is actually tasty, but Surge the card is never fun. Another Surge, and then, of course, a Conflict, so you cannot do anything with the main scheme until you get rid of the side scheme. Then here we go, guys. The last one, the last of the mods, Badoon Assassin minion. Badoon Assassin engages, it attacks you with +2. So as soon as he engages, he's going to do a +2 attack. Grunt, After Badoon engages you, if there's no minions engaged, deal yourself an extra encounter card. Not good. A bunch of those guys. Badoon Lieutenant Patrol. This minion is engaged. You cannot thwart. So same as the other guy. He gets a Retaliate on the Sentry. Warlord. He gains Overkill. Never a good thing. So if he kills one of your allies, because you're going to use your ally to block, he can still do damage to you. So there we go, guys. That is the entire... Whoops. That is the entire me getting things out of order, which is going to be fun to clean up later. I don't think I did. I think I'm good. Yeah, we're good. All nice and pretty. But that is the entire Guardians Most Wanted expansion. If you want to know anything else about these cards, leave a comment down below and we'll try to explain the cards to you if you're new to Marvel Champions. If you saw me explain something incorrectly, which occurs quite a lot, leave a comment down below so that way we can correct that for other viewers. If you want to see this gameplay, it's going to be a little while. I'm going to get there though. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell notification to know when we go live. If you want to see more unboxings, do the same thing. Hit the subscribe button, bell notification. Till next time, guys. Peace.